So HB 249, basically dealing with modernizing our obscenity laws here in the state of Ohio to deal with two loopholes that we have in code. One area dealing with adult cabarets is saying that if you're going to engage in any kind of adult cabaret, it's got to be in an adult cabaret location away from children. So therefore, if you can't take a child to a strip club, you can't take the stripper to the child out in public. Seems like it makes complete sense, right? And then the second area that we're dealing with actually originated out of Xenia, Ohio, where we had a 400-pound individual that was exposing himself to little girls and women in the Xenia YMCA locker room. This guy actually gets to do that because he's so large that he had a flap of skin that covered his genitals. Therefore, because the judge chose to use private part, which is in code but undefined, instead of using private area, which is in that same area of code but is defined, this guy gets his the case is squashed.
So for me, I was in the locker room with my sister Josie, and I was just standing there getting my hair ready to go work out, and he was looking at my sister a lot, and I feel like it made us both uncomfortable. I remember them constantly staring at me, and I'm a very timid person, so I don't like any social interaction, and I didn't use the showers in the locker room after that because I knew that there was a man in there who not just in there, but he stared and he watched.
As a father, these stories make me see red. I can't imagine what I would do if I heard about a 300-pound man in my daughter's locker room staring at them as they undress. What's most frustrating about this, though, is that when these stories come forward and families like these say, hey, this is what's actually happening in our communities, the media, the left will either ignore them or call them bigots for telling this truth about what these men are doing. Or oftentimes they'll say, oh, how dare you say or suggest that transgender people are predators. Well, in this situation, this man, Darren Glines, actually had a history of assaulting women. And when we heard that story, we said, we can't be silent. We got to take action. We got to let people know what's actually happening and get our lawmakers to move to protect our girls.
I remember, you know, she was sitting to my left side, and we were at the bar of the Waffle House, and I turned and I was just like, I said something along the lines of, you have a friend, you have someone. Don't think about what these people are saying. I went to give her a hug. He cupped me from behind. He inserted his fingers into my vagina. It's been 3 years and I've been able to not remember how that felt, but it was not an accident. That's what I know. Because you can't do that.
Hearing these stories over again, this is a reminder that, even with the insanity of the hearings that we watch, right? And some people can't even watch the entire hearing because the statements that are being made are so insane.
After the 2024 election, I think a lot of folks thought that these transgender issues might have gone away, right? President Trump ran on protecting girls' sports, on ending transgender procedures on kids, and we have great executive orders to that, and we have laws even here in Ohio. But what we are seeing is that the left is not going away on these issues. And actually, they're so committed to ensuring that men are allowed in women's locker rooms. That's why we have to stay vigilant in this fight. I mean, the statements made in the hearing for House Bill 249 are just horrendous, where you actually have drag queens standing up there saying it is their right to get changed in front of young women. That's the nature of the fight we have today. By the grace of God, and because the families in Xenia stood with CCV and were willing to tell their story and expose what was actually happening in our state, we were able to get this bill passed out of the House of Representatives and is now over to the Senate. And Lord willing, and with your ongoing support and help and prayers, we'll be able to get this bill passed out of the Senate and up to the governor for a signature. It's a long road. It's a hard fight, but we know through committed and relentless effort, we can protect our kids.